It's syllabus time, and we need to talk about accommodations. Some people believe that accommodations give some students an unfair advantage. They don't. They bring everybody up to the same starting line so that all students have an equal opportunity to learn. Some educators argue that accommodations are too onerous, too much work, too disruptive to other students. They're not. A lot of accommodations are pretty simple. And even if your term has already started, you can add in the accommodations in this video pretty easily. And I want you to remember, you're the teacher. You wrote the syllabus, and you can change it even if you've already started. We are going to talk about religious holidays, basic disability accommodations, and finally, trigger and content warnings. Do trigger warnings still upset people? Yeah, we'll see. So, religious holidays. Most of us in the US default to a Christian holiday calendar. Why? Because most of us were raised in a country that was and still is predominantly Christian. As of 2021, 63% of USians identified as some kind of Christian, down from 85% in 1990. Given how teacher education works in the US, there are not a lot of teachers younger than their early 20s. So while the number of Christians has gone down in the last 30 years, most of us still grew up in a culturally Christian nation. And the older we are, the more true that is. Step away from how individuals worship. The cultural expectation that everybody is Christian is still there, baked into all levels of education. Colleges operate on a semester, trimester, or quarter system. All of these systems have a break that begins sometime before December 22nd and ends sometime after January 6th. That is, the break covers Christmas, one of the two major Christian holidays. K through 12 schools break for the time between Christmas and New Year's as well, usually the week between December 24th and January 2nd. Yet, schools do not close for Rosh Hashanah or Yom Kippur. Schedules are not eased for Ramadan, not even for outdoor sports practices in hot climates when it falls in early autumn or late spring. We don't offer flexibility for students traveling for Holi or Diwali. Caveat: I am sure that there are Jewish, Muslim, and Hindu schools that close for these holidays and not Christian ones. I am also fairly sure there are public schools that have large populations of students who celebrate these holidays and they close for them too. This is not the norm. So how do we address it? By determining when the holidays fall, what is required of practitioners, and then spreading the workload out. You're not going to be able to miss every holiday. There are dozens of holidays between November 1st and December 31st, and it is impossible to miss every single one. The point is to spread the workload. The trick is to figure out how to share out the load. Build your schedule first, and then research what holidays might conflict. Try to avoid scheduling exams on fasting holidays, which I know is hard to do during Ramadan. If there are community events like a worship service on an unusual day or iftar on Eid, keep assignments minimal and, if possible, give a lot of lead time. For holidays that are about community gathering like Diwali, know that some of your students are going to be traveling and, again, offer a lot of lead time. This sounds like a lot, but honestly, it took longer to type it out in the script than it does to figure out. If you've already started, you can adjust the due dates. And if you really, really can't, let your students know that you are aware there is a conflict. Let your students know that you are willing to work with them and then actually work with them to find a solution. It wasn't hard accommodating multiple religious holidays. I just had to think of it. We also live in a society where everyone is expected to be fully abled, and we're just not. Some disability accommodations are complex, sure, but here are some easy ones that you can implement right now. Make your classroom more accessible across the board. Remember that many of the disabilities are going to be invisible, and also that some of those disabilities are undiagnosed, recently diagnosed, or have treatment plans in flux. 2 easy accommodations that I do in my face-to-face classes is I allow students to use a laptop or tablet to take notes, and I allow audio recording of the lectures. If students decide to pop over to Instagram for a few minutes, that's their choice. As long as the machine is muted and not disrupting other students, I don't care. Most of the students who are doing this are taking a mental break and will be back engaged in lecture very, very soon. Those who are doing it to goof off will goof off whether or not they have a laptop or tablet. The rule for audio recording lectures is that students must remain with the audio recording device. They can't just drop it off and leave. Then students are able to listen to the playback as they review their notes. Other really easy fixes. Make sure your classroom has enough seats for all enrolled students plus 2 or 3 extra for interpreters or note takers. Familiarize yourself with the rules for interacting with a service animal. And if a student has a service animal in your classroom, connect with them and ask for instructions on what to do if the animal alerts during class. Finally, think about what your content is and if content warnings and trigger warnings would help. These have been polarizing, so let's review what they are. A content warning is a statement of what the content is, like a movie rating. This movie is rated R for violence, language, and nudity. That's it. That's all it is. Heads up, this reading has a chapter on sexual assault. A trigger warning is specific. This is like someone telling you they're allergic to peanuts, and so you remember not to give them a peanut butter cookie. People tell you the thing that will cause them harm. You tell them where it is. They make decisions on how they will handle it. I have a standard list of trigger warnings, and every time a student identifies a new one, I add it to the list. The current list: rape, violence, murder, torture, gore, child abuse, child death, child murder, racism, homophobia, sexual assault, religious abuse, child theft or kidnapping, and police brutality. How does it work? I flag assignments as necessary. Students make their own choices about how they'll interact with the content. Some examples. A student triggered by images of police brutality was able to complete an assignment including images of the Bloody Sunday March over Edmund Pettus Bridge, now the John Lewis Bridge, because their partner took notes on it for them based on the instructions the student gave them. A different student, triggered by child death, simply opted out of all assignments referencing the topic. They were willing to lose those points to avoid their trigger. That was their choice, and I respected it. Trigger warnings and content warnings are about mental health, and mental health is just as important as physical health. Our students are adults with a wide variety of experiences, some positive, some negative. They arrive in our classrooms with unique histories that we can't possibly predict. Most of them are equipped to handle their health needs if they have the pertinent information. All we have to do is give it to them. We should respect their expertise in their own life. Students learn best when they are fed, clothed, housed, and safe. These are ways to help your students be safe in your classroom. Each of these takes a very small amount of time and effort. The real difficulty is in stepping outside of your own experience and creating a place where all of your students have the opportunity to learn. I know you can do it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.